but Morocco also missed a breakaway. And unlucky enough for Morocco, it was Chadira on the end of it, the substitute, who scored a penalty, by the way, in the shootout. So credit to him. But that was a breakaway, and it's just like I've seen the Spain movie before. I feel like so many times, and that's why I said it was the most Spain way to lose. A lot of the ball, and then penalty shootout, you get knocked out. That's just if I had to like write a book on like how will Spain lose the World Cup, that's like chapter one of how Spain will lose the World Cup.
Mm, yeah.
Um, I think Morocco deserves more praise. I think they were really good defensively, and their transition attacks could have been
No,
better.
I didn't. I gave them their praise that they deserve. I said that give them credit. I said it repeatedly, at least 2 or 3 times. I said they were very disciplined in defense.
Yeah,
But to like praise Morocco over their system, I mean, again, then you must have enjoyed Greece winning the World Cup or the Euro Cup as well, because that's all they did was defending an extremely low block and trying to, capitalize on the counterattacks. And that's counterattacking football. I mean, it's classic counter. It's existed for centuries. It's this. There's nothing. It's 100% sheer speculative football and try to capitalize on stunning your opponents in a counterattack and then capitalizing on a dispossessed ball, a defensive error, whatever it may be. I mean, there's nothing new about. I mean, we've seen this forever. It's just counterattacking football.
I just can't
Good.
hate on it. For the record, I enjoyed this Morocco team more than I enjoyed Greece in Euro 2000. Although I was like 13 years old in Euro 2000, so I don't really remember how I analyzed that, to be honest. But Morocco are fun. They're a fun team. I don't really remember much about Greece. I just don't hate the idea of playing this way when it's just smart, and it's smart. Like if they could play like Rayo Vallecano and get smoked today. That doesn't make sense. But I will also say like how much of like the whole systems thing. There's what Spain did today, which was a lot of passing between Rodri and Laporte and little penetration. And then there's Brazil, who just absolutely wiped the floor against Korea, who are also a very organized defensive team. So there are other ways to play really beautiful football that I think maybe Spain can possibly adopt. Just from a tactical perspective, I think what the problem was today for them was that they actually played their move. I mentioned this on Twitter. Their movement between the lines in the final third was all good. Like Gavi was getting into good spots. Asensio was getting into good spots. The problem was that Morocco quite smartly, and this is an old blueprint too, taking the page out of like way back during the Pep days of coaching Barca, when teams would just make sure Busquets doesn't get the ball. And I thought they did a really good job of taking away his space. And once you take away his space, you're resorted to long balls to get the ball to those attackers. And I think Morocco defended that well. And any success would come from Pedri playing a ball over the top. And I thought Pedri was really good today. But I also thought it was a little bit too reliant on his genius to create that space. It was hard, and because they took Busquets out of the game, and I thought that was smart. I mean, it's also a good idea in theory, but they also executed it well. And so I think Morocco did well in that regard. And I just feel like Spain didn't really have any answers. And I mean, like you can attest to watching it too. Like, did you ever feel like there was a moment where Spain were going to score? Like, I suppose, but I don't know. I just never really felt that confident when they had the ball.
No, there wasn't enough danger. There wasn't enough chances created. That's for sure. And that's the big I guess failing point for me tonight watching this. And yeah, these are movies that I've watched before as well. Lots of possession, and that just doesn't only go for the Spain side, but I've seen it with Barca, for example, as well. These kind of games where again you're playing against a team with lesser quality, that is less daring, less willing to take the initiative and play a brave style of football. It's speculative. It's reactionary football that you're playing against the opposition, who close themselves very, very well, who have got a very clear blueprint when it comes to how they want to function defensively and how to execute that and how to limit spaces to these players that create the or exploit the spaces. And today wasn't the day for this Spanish team to unfortunately find that final pass that could create that chance to test Bono a lot more, and we didn't see that. We just didn't see that, and that's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, I also like the other way Spain generate opportunities in moments like this in games like this is through their press, and I noted several times. Go ahead.
No. Go finish your point.
Well, just that I noticed several times in this game that Spain's press was just not as good as it usually is. And you can see Lucho just so angry on the sidelines, like pointing out breakdowns here and there. And I think that that's a source of options and attacking opportunities that Spain normally generate as well. And they didn't have many of those today. And I think it's also kind of interesting too that, Spain did limit Morocco's transitions, I thought, decently well, like pretty well. There wasn't that many for Morocco to capitalize on. The transition defense from Spain was pretty good. And considering that Ashraf and Ziyech on that side, I thought they were defended well by Alba and Laporte. Laporte coverage was good. Where I think Morocco surprisingly had more success was on the other side, where Boufal really had the better of Marcos Llorente throughout the game, and they had some success there. And then you see as this game wears
a lot. I don't.
Just as you see as this game wears on, I thought Morocco were just starting to get tired. They were like, okay, they were chasing the second half counter attacks weren't as efficient. That started to change again when Abde came in, and Morocco started to make subs and started to shift again a little bit. But yeah,
I felt